What is going on, everyone? Welcome on back to the channel. Long time no see. Lucky to see you around here, around these parts. What are you doing in my room? Well, you're here, so you might as well stick around. Hi, everyone. I have 2 or 3 announcements. Number 1, I have a little bit of a sore throat. Number 2 is I just washed my hair, so it's a little fluffy and bouncy. Rate my hair bounce. And then number 3, I got a new camera and I got some new lighting. So there might be some autofocusing issues going on because I have it currently set to autofocus.
Well, yes!
I'm still tampering with it, so if you see some adjustments happening over the course of the next few videos and streams, know that we are in a state of flux.
So fun, so quirky.
We are going to be reading the next blog post for Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds. It is titled, The Return of Raiding and Convergences in Janthir Wilds. Hello, Tyrians. We are less than a month away from the launch of Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds, and while there's plenty to be excited about for the August 20th release, players can also look forward to the newest raid and convergence going live in our first major update in November. You'll be able to explore a mysterious mountain region. As you ascend the mountain, you'll face off against opponents who won't go down without a fight. Players will also get to choose how to encounter these fights, in either a 50-player convergence event or a 10-player raid wing, our first new raid in 5 years. Our team is currently hard at work developing this new raid, so while we can't share all the details yet, we can provide an overview of what to expect and explain why we are reintroducing raids, along with some insight into what players can hope for in the future. And they start off by showing a little, I guess, side view of the mountain, which looks really nice. I mean, it kind of is bare bones. If this is the raid wing, I still imagine they're doing the details and touches, and they don't want to give too much away. So, but it's very open concept, very open concept island. I like it. The return of raiding. In the past, raids were self-contained instances with their own stories, built for 10-player groups. Our goal with the upcoming raid is to allow players to experience the story in a way that works best for them. The raid will be integrated into the main storyline, and players who might be hesitant to join a raid group will be able to enjoy their own personal narrative. The 50-player version is built as a convergence, similar in structure to those found in Guild Wars 2 Soto. Those participating in the 10-player raid will find the story to be more heroic, with a focus on the formidable enemies they face, rather than the NPCs involved in the narrative. While there will be some differences between the 50-player and 10-player versions, the team has recognized the importance of maintaining a sense of continuity between both experiences. We look forward to watching players discover and master these mechanics in each setting. With the introduction of our new raid encounter, some of you might be wondering if we will continue to create raids in the future. The short answer is maybe. Raids require a significant amount of developer resources, but only a small subset of players engage with the 10-player group instance content, which is part of the reason it has been 5 years since our last one. This new raid serves as a test to see how we can support raids moving forward. Originally, we attempted to solve the cost problem with raids through strike missions, a new game mode designed to bridge between players and raids. This time, instead of trying to give players bridge content in the hope that it leads them to raids, we're just giving them the raid content from the start. Raid content from the start in the form those interested in it really want. Okay. We got there. Players who want a 10-player instanced mechanics-heavy version can play that, and the players who prefer a large-scale open-world experience with fewer barriers to entry can also experience the content that way. Meanwhile, integrating raid content into the story lets us fit its development into our annual release schedule. We aim to extend story assets to support raids and gauge players' reactions to raids that have been integrated into the story. Sometime after the raid's release in November, its challenge mode will become available. Additionally, players participating in the 10-player raid can anticipate a legendary mode, offering a highly coveted purple title. Raids are going to be on the wait list, it seems, for ArenaNet. We might just be getting a raid for this expansion, we might not get a raid next expansion, but if the convergences and raids work together and pay off, maybe we'll see raids become more frequent. We might even get it in the next expansion if this really does pay off. I think it's nice to always test the waters of endgame content for Guild Wars 2, particularly because we don't have a solid structure of endgame content, and it does seem like they have to sacrifice realms of endgame content in favor of others, such as strike missions being left in this expansion for raids, and of course dungeons were always like in the background, but fractals as well have for some time taken a back seat, and they have just more so recently been reintroduced into the release cadence. So I guess it makes sense that if we're not getting strike missions, we're getting a raid. I still would have liked to have also seen a strike mission at least release with the core expansion, just because it's going to leave players maybe wanting, for those who really enjoyed strike missions and just endgame content in general. But we're gonna have to see how Janthir Wilds plays out with all of its other features. However, they have mentioned that they are looking to keep the continuity between the convergences and the raids similar. However, there's going to be maybe some slight differences as to some mechanics and what developers expect a group of 50 players to do, and what developers expect a group of 10 players to do. It's a very different scale of fine detail you can have with certain mechanics. So I'm interested to see what convergences are going to be like, and maybe we will find out in this section of the blog post titled Convergences in Janthir Wilds. The Coden cubs huddle closely around the village's claw, their eyes wide with awe and excitement as he begins to recount a harrowing tale. It's a story of bravery and strategy, in which a band of 50 fearless Tyrians embarked on a daring mission as they ascend the mountain. As the tale unfolds and you take up the challenge in this encounter, you will find a strong ally in your Warclaw mount, which will aid in this new adventure. Oh, integrating the mount. Listen closely as the village's claw weaves the narrative. Each encounter promises unexpected challenges and thrilling surprises. During your encounters with these enemies, you might observe a noticeable shift in difficulty compared to what you experienced in Guild Wars 2 Soto. We fine-tuned these bosses to present a more advanced challenge than in previous convergences, necessitating coordinated efforts from all party members to secure victory. Completing convergences in Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds will award players with essences that can be used to craft legendary gear. And yes, these essences will be compatible with the legendary obsidian armor available in Guild Wars 2 Soto, as well as the new legendary spear and legendary backpack arriving in the quarterly updates for Guild Wars 2 JW. Essences from convergences will be renamed Rift Essences, with 3 rarities to streamline the rewards. Awesome! So, not necessarily detailing or giving example as to what mechanics might be different when compared to a 10-player encounter versus a 50-player encounter, but I'm actually pleased to see that they have said they're aiming to streamline their boss experience in convergences and create a greater sense of fear and danger and challenge. Maybe nothing to akin of the 10-player raid experience, because it's still going to be an open world setting. And when you're in an open world setting, you do have a greater number of allies to rely on. However, with that, they might be able to tune the damage numbers a bit higher. They might be able to input a few more mechanics into a specific encounter, so you are maybe fragmenting the groups more to where you have to be a little bit more understanding of what you are doing and where you're positioned, so you just don't get lost in the sauce. That might be a way that they do it, is like splitting groups. So that could be a nice element that was not seen in the previous convergences. And that's all I really have to say, because we don't have like a concrete example or footage of it. And then of course, we got confirmation that these convergences are going to be compatible with the Guild Wars 2 Soto convergences, in the sense that they're going to be giving us the same currency to create legendary gear, both open world legendary gear from Soto, and then the new legendary gear coming with the spears and the backpacks. So we're still going to have a reason to play those Soto convergences if you are looking to amp up Rift essences. It's nice to get some insight into the world of ArenaNet to maybe understand a little bit better as to why they are going into the direction of raids and are giving strike missions a bit of a pause. They're putting the pause button on strike missions to explore connecting convergences to raids. And I wonder if raids won't... I wonder if in a world where raids don't necessarily click with players, even in this expansion, if they're going to continue with convergences. because open world encounters are very popular, especially when you integrate them into legendary gear with like the armor, the spears, the backpack. And I wonder how the reward structure is going to be for this set of gear, or for this specific raid wing, because there's the convergence mode, which is giving essence, but will the raid mode also give essence for legendary gear? I wonder. They really didn't mention anything about that. Or are we just going to be getting magnetite shards so that you can create raiding gear? Because it's still technically considered a raid, but it's not necessarily going to be something that where you get like achievement credit, which you need to do for legendary gear. It was nice to get some insight, and also we had this lovely screenshot of this kind of crater in the mountain, on the mountainside. This definitely looks like it could be an area where we fight a boss, or maybe a trash pack, or maybe we spawn in here. I'm not quite sure, but it is nice. It has a little element of magic and some sense of danger or action in this area, which is nice because most of the screenshots that we've received for this expansion have mostly been like pretty, just beautiful scenic shots. So I like it. But thank you everyone for coming on by. Like the video if you liked it. Comment down below your thoughts about raids and convergences. Do you think you're going to mostly stick to convergences or raids? Are you going to be doing both? If you'd like to pre-purchase Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds, I have links in the description. Thank you so much, ArenaNet. And if you'd like to support the channel, I have a Patreon. Comment, like, and share everything. I know y'all know how to do the internet. Me and my fluffy hair, thank you so much for coming on by. We really do. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.